gentlemen, Bube.
One more time, I like it. One more time. Okay. I'm fine. I'm fine. Do you know the funny thing? When I think of how it all started, that's the question everyone asks me. When did it start? How did it start? You know? When I came to Lagos, which was a while back, 2016, to chase comedy, before I made the move, I reached out to two people at the time. One of them is very popular. The other one, really popular as well. Industry people. Your Naija and Bube. And I sent them Instagram messages. I didn't know them. I said, look, I'm a young guy. I'm funny, you. My friends, did they laugh? You know? How do I do this? And Bube said to me, go to Buchi's Comedy Club in Coco Lounge in Yaba and test the fire. I'm funny. You're trying to test the fire. I wrote these jokes. 3 weeks later, I went to the comedy club. I did 30 seconds in. You know what I heard? My friend, will you get her from there? Who is this one? You know the thing is, I'm a naive person. So I was looking around like, if someone tried to attack me, are they trying to save me from something? Then they said, Buchi, is this a comedian? Get him out of the... I came back late that night, around 2 a.m., back to my friend's place in Surulere. He was asleep. I knocked and knocked. And he struggled. He woke up, he opened the door, he went back to sleep. And in the morning, I'm always giddy. And he noticed I was down. Say, how fun, how we go now? Then they laugh at me. Would you laugh? I said, the guy laugh. Laugh. You know? I couldn't own it. I couldn't own the fact that I bungled because I was funny. I went into Uniport a naive person. I went to Uniport at the age of 16. All I knew was I wanted to read and do nothing else. Do you know how naive I was in Uniport? Uniport was a terrible school. It was so terrible that the first time my father said, I love you, was when I got admission to Uniport. And he didn't say, I love you. He said, don't join cult. Every guy knows that's the I love you from a father to a son. They don't say, I love you. And I went into Uniport. I never tried comedy or anything. I was just focused in school. And I was so naive. I was so naive that from the University Teaching Hospital, there's a gate that you use to enter into the campus. And there's a restaurant called Imatex, very popular. And then I went in there, and then some cultists were at the edge. And they knew I was a newbie, I was young, no beards, nothing. And then, you know what I heard? Who goes there? I came from Abuja. I grew up in Abuja. My mom was an English teacher. I was in a confined environment. I didn't know that who goes there was. So I tried to correct the guy. That's how naive I was. Yeah. I tried to. And my voice was very shrill. And when I'm scared, my voice gets really tiny. So I said, it's not who goes there, it's who is going past there. So, the guy was shocked. The guy was shocked. And he looked at me, he was like, one of the boys, you know who this be? Do you know what this is? Point 2. Naive. I didn't know what point 2 was. But because I was smart, I was trying to figure it out. This is a citadel of learning. Point 2. Why is he bragging about a low CGPA? That's what I was... That's how naive I was. And I used to get attention easily. You know, blame the looks. Yeah, I used to. And so one day, You know, I used to dress up nice. I used to wear matching colors. I like matching colors. That's why I like a lot of natives. Something simple. I didn't understand that colors was a big thing. And I didn't match. I always match my colors. One orientation, one guy called me to the side. He said, look, you're setting yourself up for trouble. This is University of Port Harcourt. Cultists have their colors. This black and black will not work. I tried blue and blue. It didn't work. There's nothing I did not try. It did not work. One day, I'm going for, what do you call it, medicals. This guy reaches out to me. He comes to me. He does like this. How far? Then see what he does with his hand. What's up? I can't forget it. What's up? And I didn't know what to do in response. But I was young and I thought I could play along. So I did like this. Chief. And I could see his reaction. He knew that. So he said, identify yourself. I said, I'm from geology department. And then he said it straight. Baba, you don't get locus. That's how they talk. You don't get locus. I said, identify yourself. You don't give me ID. They say from geology. Who you be, paddy man? Come on, Bobby. Calm down. Tell me who you be. You didn't fly our color. And at that point in time, I was angry because I'd done all the research. So me, I was like, no, I've asked around, though. There's no cult that used to wear lilac. And it was in that moment that I knew that I get scared easily. Because the guy got angry. I did try on one or two, calm you down. You tell me say waiting. I said, now I call up with this, waiting to worry you for it. I go, but the man, see, 2 peanuts, I go follow you here right now. You know they see the metal, you know they feel the cold. I saw the gun, my voice, very shrill. And this is my go-to word when I'm scared. Has he gotten to this? Say, man. And you know, it wasn't only... I love Uniport, though, because there were a lot of things I learned in Uniport. And Uniport was my first exposure to pretty ladies. Ooh, the ladies were fine. Oh, I saw a lot in Uniport. And it was there when I saw how pretty these women were that I realized that adultery will never end. Yeah. These women are too beautiful. No, it's God that is creating these women. So I don't know what he's thinking. Look, these women are too beautiful. They're too beautiful. And I was in church one day, this pastor then was saying, young boys fornicating every time. You guys are in hotels, chasing women, this one, that one. I said, no. If you want to talk about young boys fornicating, that's okay. We do it. But don't say we are all in hotels. That's not where we are. The people, there's no young boy that's going to be chasing a lady that doesn't want to impress her by showing her his own house. The people that go to hotels are the married men. They have to hide. So it's clear, it's simple. Adultery, right, is the foundation that hoteling business rests on. You need to understand it. Yeah. Yes. Multi-billion-dollar industry resting on the shoulders of adultery. I'm telling you. So when these pastors are preaching about adultery, after your sermon, tell hotel owners to wait behind. Then we know you're serious about solving adultery. I'm telling you, adultery, oh my goodness. Do you know how? And adultery is going nowhere. The earlier ladies face it, the better. Adultery is going nowhere. Adultery is as old as marriage. Because for you to commit adultery, I mean, you have to be married. That's the concept. Marriage is older than Christianity. So definitely, adultery is older than Christianity. These pastors are fighting a battle that started years ago. I'm telling you, the earlier you accept it, the better. And look, let me tell you, if you like, pray and cut off all the hotels, break all the hotels down, adultery is going nowhere. If one industry dies, another will grow. If you break down all the hotels today, tinted glasses, the price will rise. Yes. Because men must find a way. No, I accept that married women are already laughing now. But it's the truth. It's the truth. No. End adultery. What are you saying? If adultery ends today, the owner of Sheraton will open fish farm to supplement his income. Adultery. Come on now. Women, I understand you're angry, but sometimes I don't pity you guys when you're victims of adultery. Yeah, because, what do women really want? When I think about the pressures, the sufferings that women have put men under, come on now. What do you want in a man? A very simple question. You start to hear things that can't be achieved. No, I don't really want much, I just like guys, that have, big chest, well-built big chest. Put a young man in serious pressure. Every morning. Just to please you ladies. One guy has gymmed and gymmed and gymmed. The chest has gone big and big and big. There's no space for the chest to grow any forward. Now the chest is curving upwards. His nipple is on his shoulder as we speak. Just to please you ladies. No, I don't really want much. I just want, something slim, slender, six-packs. I like guys like that. The stupid boy now cannot afford to go to the gym because he doesn't have money. He can't hire a trainer. So you know what he does? He builds the weight lift in his backyard. He's not a contractor. He doesn't do it well. This side is bigger than this side. So as he's lifting it, it's only half of his body that is gaining muscles. The person that is suffering the problem now is a tailor. There's nothing that they will sew for this guy that matches because he wants to please Lucy. Does it make any sense? You visit a guy's house. He's done 10 minutes set. He's been paid some good money. He takes the money back home. He stocks his fridge. You come for the weekend. You spend the night. You wake up in the morning. But you have your fantasies. When you watched it in one movie, Bridgerton. The table was spread. So you know what you do? You go into the kitchen. I wake up to different aromas. There's yam, there's fish stew, there's sausage, there's fried egg, there's boiled egg. There's everything. Half of the money I just collected is on the table. Because that's what you want. Romance, food, nice things. In 2022, I'm angry. You go into a bachelor. I'm a bachelor. You go into my fridge. You open it. You take what you find there. Half of the things in my fridge is my neighbors that gave me to keep it. How do I tell my neighbor now that the stew she used Titus fish to cook? Another person has eaten the tail. The tail, oh, not even the middle. Doesn't make any sense. So we shouldn't talk about our fantasies, but our fantasies are valid. Why can't we talk about it? We have fantasies. Romance fantasies, sexual fantasies. No one is saying you can't actualize these things, but take it easy now. Take it easy. You visit a guy's house, he's just struggling. He's just starting off. He can't even buy the bed, so the mattress is on the floor. It's very low, but you must actualize that thing in your mind. So you want to lay down, then he should stand, at the same time he should squat. Then he should lean in because you want it to be intimate, and he should bend. Young men out there developing hunchbacks just to please you ladies. And no one is talking about it. Everyone is just treating it like it's normal. So we shouldn't talk about our fantasies. Look, we're not saying you shouldn't, but, let it be measured. Okay, what do you like in a guy? Should I say, what? I like guys that have thick neck. Does that even make any sense? But there's always one stupid boy that's willing to please you. So you know what Romeo does? He puts dumbbell on his neck every morning. Ha! Because that's what Choma likes. I'm telling you, true life story. Back then in Uniport, tall, fine boy. Very, very fine. Put dumbbell on his neck. And the neck became thicker. But when he knew he was in trouble was the day he went to the barbing salon. And then they shaved off his hair, the afro. If you see veins running from the neck to the forehead, spreading out like tributaries, spreading out. Then Choma saw him. She said, he doesn't look attractive anymore. So really, in the end, it was all in vain. tell you what. Women, I've taken my time and I've asked myself, what do women really want? And guys, I'm your savior tonight. I did the research. I did the research carefully. Women want two things. Every other thing is noise. Women want two things. Devotion. Total devotion. And then the second thing is they judge a man by what he's willing to sacrifice for them. Two things. Now, devotion is very important. And when I say devotion, women want you to give them everything. And it's logical because women are vessels of creation. They're powerful. They bring life. So it's only normal for a woman to feel entitled to life as well. So they want to own you. They want to own your life. They want you to give them everything. I did the research. I don't know how many of you guys watched King of Boys 2. Make some noise if you watch King of Boys. Good. My favorite episode is the last one, where in your last Salami, the handover ritual, and she has her ride or die, Ade Tiger, right? And Ade Tiger, at the end of the scene, he shoots everybody. He stays in the line of fire. He shoots everybody for Eniola Salami. And Eniola looks at him at the end, and she holds his face, and she says, Ade Tiger. And what does he say in return? Till I die, Oba. Did you say in your last face? Ooh. Devotion. Sacrifice. For the older folks here, you might remember the movie Original Sin. Antonio Banderas and Angelina Jolie. I'll remind you of the plot. Antonio Banderas, right, was a rich guy. Angelina Jolie catfished him, made him believe she was someone else, and she had a plan with her own boyfriend to rob him of everything he owned, dupe him. Abi? But Banderas loved her regardless. He found out the plot, and he still loved her. And at the end, towards the end scene, she was going to poison him and then take the remainder of all he had. And he knew that the tea was poisoned, and they were seated across the table. And he held that tea, and he looked at her, and he said, it was only you. When I said I loved you for who you are, good or bad. I still love you in this moment. From first to last, from start to finish. Do not change, Julia. And then he drank the tea. Me, I was looking at him like, okay. Okay, all right. But did you see Jolie's face in that moment? It was almost as if she didn't know what love was, but now she knew this is love. Sacrifice. Devotion. Yeah. I had an accident earlier this month, 2nd of July. Yeah, I did. Crazy, ghastly accident. Car was a write-off. And this guy came, he helped me, good Samaritan. His name is Sheun Omitiron. Is Sheun here? Sheun, please stand up. Make some noise for Sheun. Thank you very much, Sheun. I appreciate it. I passed out, I woke up to my car burning, was engulfed in flames, the car is gone. But hey, we're here. And when Sheun got me out, he looked at me and looked at the state of the car and he said, Guy, your mother prays for you. That's what he said. And every other friend, the very few friends I told about this accident, it was the same thing. Guy, your mother prays for you. Why did they not say your father prays for you? Do you know why? I'll tell you why. Because it's a known fact that Christian women are more devout than Christian men. Christian women are more religious. They love Christ. They love God more. Why? Maybe because he gave his only son for them. Yeah. That's the truth. Women look for sacrifice, devotion. And that's why Titanic was such a hit movie. Because Jack paid the ultimate sacrifice. He paid with his life. Oh, women love that. He died for me. But I'm not a hero. I'm not going to do that for any woman. And I know why. And that's another movie. Romeo and Juliet. Romeo and Juliet is the same genre with Titanic. They're both romance, they're both drama, they're both tragedy because people die. The only difference is In Romeo and Juliet died. And in Titanic, only the man died. Women looked at Titanic like, hey, I would like to watch this again. Yeah, that's why Romeo and Juliet is older than Titanic. I'm saying the Titanic ship itself that informed the movie. The Romeo and Juliet movie was shot in 1996. Leonardo was the star cast. 1997, Titanic was shot. They are all the same timeline. In the box office, Romeo and Juliet made 157 million. Check it. Titanic made 2.1 billion box office. Because women didn't understand that love could mean they would die. So for women, that was a terrible movie. I'm not a hero. I'm not going to do that for anybody. I'm not dying for anybody. Look, I can be angry and I can be fierce, but feeling scared is a perfectly normal feeling as well. I get scared easily. Do you know, during the NSAS protest, people came out in their placards. I was angry as well. I came out with mine. My friend, Judge, he was with me. And I was echoing everything he said. He was angry, I was angry. We were tired. And he said, we are here till the very end. They must give us our demands. We are going nowhere. And I was chorusing, we are going nowhere. To the end, to the end, to the end, to the end. We don't care what it takes. We don't care. Even if it costs us our lives. I said, and when I get scared, I start to speak English. I said, has it gotten to this? I'm not a hero. I'm not scared to accept that I'm not a hero. I'm not a hero, man. I remember then I was dating this lady. I didn't have a car then. We're in the keke na pep. We're driving. And, I stay fresh. You know, we're riding in the tricycle. Let's put it that way. And I was in the back with her. And she made one comment. I didn't like her. That's why it ended. She made one comment. She just goes around looking for trouble. She made one comment that I knew that the keke driver didn't like. And he turned around and he looked at me. And he was like, I understood. So I was like, come on now. And she looked at me like, what's up? I won't say, this is uncomfortable. I don't like this. And then the guy got angry. And then he got angry. And then he told her, you don't talk like that. And me, obviously, to defend her, I was like, guy, calm down. Nobody say you're going to shout for my girlfriend. Why would you do that? And the guy got angry with me. And he said to me, guy, fuck you, fuck your girlfriend. Keke driver, he knows fuck. I'm telling you. And I was angry at this point in time. And then he looks at me and said, Baba, I will pack this keke, I will bring you down, I will snap your elbow and match on it till one of your arteries clogs. He spoke good English. And my girlfriend was looking at me like, would you take this? I mean, I'm looking at her like, these threats are quite specific. This guy knows what he's talking about. He knows what he's talking about. He clears, oh. He clears, and I know he's about to go down. How's he got to do this? Of course. I scare easily. And it's normal. I can't be a hero. I know this. Because every time they talk about blood donation, I cringe. Why would I give you my blood? Why? There's some courageous people. Meet them. I'm not giving anyone my blood. And you know what these blood donors do? These guys that seek blood donors, mobile banks. They go to churches or they go to gyms. For two reasons. The people in church feel like, I'm untouchable. You know, God, I'm healthy. You need blood. Take half of mine. The people in gym think that they are very healthy. They're always willing to give blood. I was in this gym once. My trainer, Power Mike, had gained a lot of weight from consulting. Yeah. I had to lose it. I had to lose the weight. So I went to the gym, Power Mike. He's calling Power Mike because of all his build. These guys come, mobile bank blood. They said they had lack of blood and they needed blood donors urgently. And she made a really good pitch. And I felt bad. And I was like, Power Mike, you should go. You must go. Anyways, he drags me, he gets me there. We get to the place on a Saturday, it's on VI, and the lady, it's a bit shabby, but I can tell they're doing their best. And then Power Mike goes in first, right? And he bounces in. And by the time, the nurse is very, you always have these petite nurses. And by the time she was done with him, he was leaning on her, coming out. And obviously, the next thing is me. I started thinking at that point in time, because you may have noticed, I'm quite smart. I started thinking, the first known case of blood transfusion was in the Bible. The woman had the issue of blood. She touched the hem of his garments. Simple logic, if she felt better, that means Jesus gave her blood. The blood didn't just come from nowhere. That's why, at the end, he felt like power left him. Transfusion is weakening. I'm looking at this woman looking at me like, come. And then I said to myself, Bube, sometimes be courageous. And then I walked in. I said, no, I'll give this blood. What is it? And I walked in, and I saw the blood that they just took from Mike. They put it in ice or they put it in the fridge, but she didn't have enough time to put it away because Mike was trembling. No. The one where they're telling you, so vegetables, a lot of vegetables, iron. And so I go in and I see the blood, and she sees that I see the blood, and she knows these guys are going to back out now. Do you know what this woman does? She says to me, don't worry. That's just a pint. You have enough blood. Do you know what a pint is? It's like a sachet of pure water. I was looking at this woman like, I don't know how much blood I have, but I shall know it's not enough. I think you give me this one, I'm even seeing like this now. So I get out of here. I didn't give blood. I'm not a hero. But you know what? I almost gave blood once. NYSC, youth service camp, we're in camp. All right? The road safety comes and they give us a lecture about road safety, obviously. And then they tell us the importance of your driver's license and having your blood group written on your driver's license so that if you're in a vehicular accident and you lose blood, they know your information and they can give you the right blood so you don't pass away. Now, I already made a friend in the camp. It was a dwarf. No, dwarfism is a condition. I'm not saying it to mock him, but he's a dwarf. But he was like a really small dwarf. So to a dwarf, he's a midget, right? So he's a really small dwarf. And he was my friend, and he was paying so much attention. I was looking at him like, why are you listening about driving? You're never going to drive now. Do you get? But at this point in time, they do a test, and the test result comes out, and it turns out that my blood type is rare. And my only replacement donor is my dad. Before now, that's what I always knew. It was my dad. That's why my dad always looks at me like, because I'm too old to give you blood, though. I didn't find out that this dwarf has the exact same type of blood with me. And we just became closer at that point in time. So it was like an unspoken understanding. Like, if you ever need blood. Yeah. And then 5 years passed. 5 years. We never spoke again after camp. One day, this guy calls me. I'm excited. But I remember, he hasn't called me in 5 years. He needs blood. And then I pick. I'm a smart guy. I pick. I say, hey, what's up? How far? I'm not worried at that point in time in giving him blood. Because, he's a dwarf. How much blood will he really... will he need? Like, do we even need a syringe? I'm just open your mouth, So I figured, hey, not gonna bother myself. Yes, judge me all you want. You have to understand that the concept of a dwarf being ill or needing blood was weird to me. I've never seen a dwarf in a hospital. You guys are looking at me like, it's weird. I don't even think dwarves die. How many of you here has been to a dwarf's burial? They don't die. I think they just ascend to heaven. As little angels. They just take turns to play Cupid. It's probably why finding love these days is such a tall order. So I hear him. He says, hello. I say, hey, what's up? He says, guy, I'm in trouble. I say, why? I say, blood. He said, yes, but it's more. I said, what? Like, how much blood do you need? Like, do you want to drown in my blood? You know? And then he says, it's not blood he needs. He needs a kidney. I'm not joking. 2018. This thing took me aback. Like, how are you casually asking for someone's kidney? No one is kneeling down. No Ghana must go. Nobody's begging. Just over the phone. Like, I need your kidney. Like, obviously, I couldn't tell him I wasn't going to give him my kidney. So I had to come up with something. So I told him that it's not that I don't want to give him, but, you know, my own will not size you. You know? You know? So that's what I told him. You know? Yeah, I've never seen where they are trimming kidney before. You know? I wasn't gonna give him my kidney. And then someone snatched the phone from him. I can tell this, a ruckus. And she picks the phone and she says, hello, I'm his friend. Listen. I understand your fear now. I understand that you don't want to give him your kidney. But let me tell you, you will save a life and you will still have one kidney and you can function with one kidney. Like you have just one liver and you're fine. And I'm like, how are you getting the point? I'm missing the point at the same time. You have a liver. Do you know how important your liver is? That one singular organ. Your liver is responsible for a biological process called deamination. It's basically where your body takes all the excess proteins, converts it to amino acid. The kidney takes over, it becomes urea. No, don't worry. My dad is a doctor, so I know these things. Right? You see how important your liver is? And there are some important things that are more important than that. You know, like walking up to a lady when she's with her friends. That's liver. Oh. That's liver. Then God saw how important liver is and gave you one. Then he looked at kidney and said, you need two of these. In his wisdom, but I should give you one. Are you thinking? It's like I have two eyes. If you take out one, I'm still going to see with this one. But you know how many beautiful ladies? They're going to pass my by. Not a hero, man. I remember moving to Lagos to chase comedy and not getting enough laughs, and I'm seeing you guys laughing now, and it's just fun. It's fun. I'm telling you, it's rough when you're starting out. It's rough. I remember then, the houses in Lagos, I had a budget, 250,000. You know? I told my friend, he helped me find a place. Jesus Christ of Nazareth. I'll tell you something, the biggest problem in Lagos now is developers. Yes, those are the biggest problems. Yes. Those guys are magicians, and I don't mean that in a good way. If they take a Malam's kiosk, 3 bedrooms will come out. They will carve out 3 good bedrooms out of a Malam kiosk. I'm telling you, and if you see the kind of self-contains that they are building these days, it just lives up to them. It's really self-contained. It will contain just you and yourself. You're just there. So expensive. And so when people rent these houses, they feel the need to do a housewarming party. It feels like they bought a property. And your friend tells you, come, housewarming party. And then you go. I went to one on the mainland. It was a rainy day, but I struggled and I finally went. And he told me, once you open the gate, you would see me. And I opened the gate and I saw one structure at the end. So me in my mind, I'm like, it's like they have a Assisian here. Because that has to be the dog's house now. That's what I was thinking. This guy pops out of the door. Go. And then I come, and as I'm going, I'm inspecting the structure. And I see it's just one louver. That's the window he has. I'm like, what kind of nonsense is this? I enter inside, I see 3 people. And the first thing in my mind is, see crowd. Because the place was so small. It was so small. And people are just dancing. You can't express yourself now. Just in one spot. Sumba. You can't stretch out. You can't express yourself. Crazy. The houses. Oh my goodness. Just 5 people in a place. And I said it was cold because it was raining and everything, but if you see the way we were sweating, it was like an oven. One guy even went to go and wipe sweat, just flung the thing. Thing just flew. Slow motion, not landed on one guy's mouth. Yeah. Guy say, it's like your roof is leaking. Oh. The people that suffer these decisions that people take when they get these small houses are your friends that have to visit you. And it's the same thing on the island. You have 1 million. So what do you think you should do? You want to get a nice place on the island. 700,000 naira for a self-contained. 70K. 840 is gone. Agency and agreement. Now you're left with 160. What do? You buy your foam. You put your blinds. You put your wallpaper. That's it. And then you want your friends to visit you. When I visit you, we'll talk about problems. And I'll confide in you. And I'll tell you my issues. But you don't have furniture, so your house is echoing. Now I'm confiding the whole compound. You think I'm daft? Is it a coincidence that I'm saying that my girlfriend is materialistic, and then 2 seconds later, somebody upstairs is saying, this one doesn't have money? When you're thinking about getting these houses, think about how it affects your friends. And not everyone must live on the island. Cut your coat according to your size. There's some really nice houses, very far off. I'm serious. A friend of mine was walking in Lekki, and then they opened a brewery somewhere in Ogun State, and he wanted to stay in between Alimosho and Ayobo. And he was paying 1.5 million. And so he said he's going to take 1 million to Ayobo and get a place because he wants to maintain a proper standard of life. And he took 1 million to Ayobo looking for a 3-bedroom. There was no house of 1 million. They said their highest house is 400,000. The guy insisted that I must live in a house of 1 million. So in the end, he's the king now that has to pack out of the palace. I'm serious. I'm telling you. And the house came en suite, everything. They gave him 2 maidens. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. When I make fun of my friends, I make fun of their houses, it doesn't change the fact that I came to Yaba with 250,000 naira looking for a place, and I got one. Yeah. 250,000 naira. And when I told the guy, I said, I know my no is 250K. I just want something that's small and cozy. I wanted the guy to know that I understand that it can't be big. But then when he now showed me the house, it was smaller than my own small expectations. So I was angry. Man, this house was small. Oh, man, you guys don't get it. You will not understand how small this house was. Because once I entered inside, the guy said, you see, I'm like, it fits you. I said, it's not shirt I bought you. His house. It was as if I was wearing house. The house was so small. It was so small. I'm telling you. Like I'm thinking it's echoing. Do you know how small your house has to be for you to feel like you're invading your own privacy? Now you now go come and tell yourself, say, man, guy, you need to give yourself some space. And I left Jabba and I moved to Balende. I didn't know I was making the worst decision of my life. I got the advice from a madman. Balende was worse. Tall buildings, very close to each other. The next person over there is actually your neighbor, but it feels like it's your roommate. You can hear everything they're saying. Look at my window, look at my net. Look at my neighbor's window. Look at his own net. I went to my window just to get some air. My neighbor was accusing me of spying him. Doesn't make any sense. One neighbor over here, you are here, this person is over here. The person here is cooking chicken stew. This one is telling you, later now you say you don't have money. Am I the one cooking it? Doesn't make any sense. And no one is doing anything. No one is doing anything. It's now normal, it's accepted. Doesn't make any sense. The houses are just too close. Just too close. And this one is chicken stew. If she's cooking pepper stew, she's frying the stew here, that one is sneezing. If she's chopping onions, I mean they cry, oh. Doesn't make any sense. Too close. I told my girlfriend, I can hear everything they're saying, and these guys, they gossip about us. She said it's a lie. And one night, they started gossiping. And so I tapped her ever so gently. And I whispered, I said, hey, babes, listen. They're gossiping again. She paid attention. They stopped talking. They could hear us. Doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense. the problem? The problem is planning. Yeah. Real issues. The problem is planning. I was opportune because of my day job as a consultant. Wish I could say back in the days. Still have bills. I was able to see the master plan for Lagos as at 1979. Bear in mind that this was the onset of Shehu Shagari's tenure, the Second Republic. And Alex Ekweme was the vice president. And Alex Ekweme was an architect. And because of his interest in making Lagos, which was the capital at the time, with about 3 million in population, he wanted to make Lagos great, so they dropped a master plan. And the master plan basically said, for Lagos to achieve its full potential, right, Lagos had to have not more than 10 million people. How many are we in Lagos now? How many? What? 20, 21? 22? You guys are all wrong. We are easily 30 million people in Lagos. And if you doubt it, because some people doubt these statistics, I'll break it down for you. In 2013, when Fashola was the governor, his housing commissioner for housing, was Jeje Bosun. And in 2013, February, Jeje Bosun said that they had 4.75 million units of houses in Lagos, 2013. This is what? 2022. Let's say it's 5 million units of houses now. So basically, we already know that we already have 5 million megad in Lagos. Yeah. 5 million security men are in Lagos. So. If you think security is important, food is more important to people. So for every megad, there's one mesuya in every corner. In every corner. I've not talked about Merua, Mebaro, those ones that push in the market. Meshai, Megoro, the ones that sell kola nut. Me chewing gum in traffic. So when you calm down and calculate, I'm talking about 8 to 9 million May somethings in Lagos. Alone, upcoming musicians in First Stack is a whole other story. All of them in this Lagos. And then you have the normal people, the 9-to-5ers, the business owners, the people that are coming in drones every Sunday trying to make it in Lagos. Go, when the rain falls, go to Obalende, see the number of thugs stacked under the bridge like cards. Then you understand that we're easily 30 million people. And the plan was for 10 million people. 10 million, we're 30 million. What does it say? That for every one person in Lagos, there are 2 people that should not be in Lagos. If you tell them to go, will they go? You're nodding your head like, I'm one of the ones that should be in Lagos. They won't go. So if all of us here know that this is the truth and that we need to rid off 2 people, why can't everyone here go home? 2 people. Oh, are you cringing? You're cringing? An ignorant statement? You can't tell me there are not 2 people that you don't need to leave Lagos. How many times has your mechanic lied to you? Until or delayed your dress, making mockery of you. Mockery of you. Handle it now. Like a man. Look. I must accept. I know how ignorant a statement it seems to make, to suggest that people should go and kill people, right? But if there's anyone to blame for the overpopulation in Lagos, it's not the government, if that's what you're thinking. No, you can't blame the government. The governments, you can't blame them. You can't hold them to your expectations because Alex Ekweme made a master plan. You're not going to force these people that were not there during the time to enforce it. It's not government's job. Government is not responsible for anything. Let me make the statement very clear. They've not answered who gave the order. Is it master plan they're going to be held accountable for? Personally, I think that if there's anyone to blame for the overpopulation in Lagos, it's ritualists. They're not doing their jobs. They're not doing their jobs. Look at drug dealers. Their job is the distribution of narcotics. But because of territorial wars, tough wars, they kill people. And that's not even their KPI. How much more you that you're a ritualist and your job is to kill? Look at Nigerian politicians. Legislation representing you, passing laws, that's their job. But election comes and they unleash mayhem. Scores, people die in their numbers. They cause the death of people. And then ritualists will now be spreading your hands. Politicians are outdoing you. The problem is we have low quality ritualists. Yeah. You steal a lady's pants and then you buy Benz. That's the height of your ambition. It's not like I support rituals in anything. But, whatever a man's hand findeth to do. The lack of competence. And then they go to club. They say, bring Ace, bring it in casket. Play Undertaker music. You're mad. Did you meet your target? Doesn't make any sense. No. Doesn't make any sense. And so, I know most of the people here, there's some I don't know. But peradventure, there's a ritualist here. Let me just give you feedback. You need to up your game. There's no reason why the lady you brought here tonight, There's no reason why she should see the break of dawn. After all, when she was leaving her house, she said, I go chop and die. Let her chop, then let her die. What's the big issue? And I understand finally that all this chase for money and everything, you guys are wasting your time. Wasting your time. Not everyone is going to make it. That's just the fact. Not everyone is going to make it. Now let me put it in a way that makes you guys understand what I'm saying. Not everyone here is going to make it. That is the hard truth. Some of you have made it. I know the few of you. Some of you are on the path to making it. I know most of you. Some of you, I already know that you will toil, and there's a very good chance that in the end, you're not going to make it. Because that's what it is, destiny. Let me tell you, it's better you just go to God and pray and tell him, see, please, just tell me, am I in the plan? Let him tell you, I don't really put your name on. Then you know that, then don't waste your time. Every morning, you dress up, you enter traffic, clogging the paths that all of us that are supposed to make it are going to take. It doesn't make any sense. Just sit at home because you know that, no matter what I do, well, I'm not going to. It makes more sense. I know a man, Dr. Ebu. He's a veterinary doctor, and he has done everything. This guy sells dog meat. He has done everything you can think of. This guy has hustled. And one day I had a one-on-one with him. I said, Doctor, you didn't hustle. What did you always want to become? And he said, when he was growing up, he was like the age group of P-Square. And that those were people he looked up to because they could play football and they could sing. And he wanted to be like them because he had both talents. And then he went for a scouting training for footballers. And then they wanted to test his decision making. And then they passed the ball. And he ran. And he had to chest it. But he timed it too late. And so when he jumped, now in Adam Apple, now in the ball land. So they said his decision making is poor. They didn't get him on board. And then his voice box was destroyed, so he can't sing. You see how unfortunate he is? Are you seeing destiny playing out? So when I started hearing these stories, I started to understand that there's a very good chance that this guy will try everything and still not make it. Dr. Ebu, that guy has tried everything I know. If you ever take your dog to Dr. Ebu, he might not come back. He fails at everything. I remember the cases down to destiny. I remember the case of a friend that won 7.8 million naira on one of all these betting platforms. And he won the money. He won the money. He was happy. And we said, finally, this guy is going to leave the poverty bracket. The guys paid the money. He saw the credit alert. He had not seen that kind of money before. Excitement. He ran mad. Literally, he ran mad. So it's the money that he won now, you are now using to treat him. The money was not even enough. So they had to borrow money. So the guy now woke up from madness, owing people. He's worse off than where he started. Destiny. Pray to God, though, and ask. Someone had 580,000 naira. He took 50,000 from his girlfriend, 630,000 naira. He bought a keke. He was speaking English. He said, I'll put this keke on the road. It will bring back return on investment. He gave the keke to Aboki in Jibowu. Drive this keke for me. I want to see my money. Aboki stole the keke, took it to Kano. Yeah. If the Aboki had transported the keke to Kano, it would have been different. Aboki drove the keke from Lagos to Kano. It's the police that was telling us that it's a 9 days journey. They tracked the keke, brought the keke back. See, this keke has suffered now. You see this keke? Keke had lost weight. Could not carry 3 in the back again. Investment gone like that. Destiny. Wouldn't it have been better for him to ask God, will this thing work? God will say, you know? Dr. Ebu, my neighbor, opened a fish farm. He said he has seen the light, agriculture. He bought fishes, put them in the pond, was throwing the feed. These fishes refused to eat the feed. You know catfish are cannibalistic in nature. They prefer to eat each other. So the big one eat the small one, like that, till one fish left in the pond. Dr. Ebu cannot lose now, so he eats the last fish. The worst part now is he can't even complain to anybody. Because if you follow the chain of events to the final consumer, you can conclude that he ate all his fishes. People resort to crime because these are crazy, crazy times. You know? It's hard. People are trying different things and it's not working. I remember when I moved to that small space in Yaba, and the guy, Agent Wale, I can't forget him. There are 2 people I'm going to warn you about. If you ever see Dr. Ebu, because that guy, they hustle. He's not focused. He hustles too much. Avoid him. The other person you should avoid, Agent Wale. He said, no, the place is safe, oh. It's secure. Very safe. Ha! I open my door and sleep now. Breeze enter. Nobody else apart from Breeze. I was confident. And then I rented this space. This area was so unsafe. It was so unsafe that we hired security. And our security was telling us that he needs Megad. And that was the good case. Because the other estate, I remember, one story, they hired a security man in the morning. In the night, he robbed them. That area was so unsafe. True story. And if you see the guys robbing us, small boys, they did not even have weapons. I'm telling you the truth. They didn't have weapons at the time. But because they know that they did not have weapons, they come in their numbers. So like 13 people will just burst into your self-contained. There will not be space to rob yourself. It's the organa that will say, no, black arrow, tiger, space out, now let us see who we are trying to rob. And you know they don't have weapons, but they have to make you scared, so they have to threaten you. Where's the money? Come, see, we'll bite you. No, and they bite, oh, no, they bite. They beat my landlord now. I'm serious. If 13 people come together and bite you, 13 different saliva mix into your body. They beat my landlord. We were very angry. We took the case to police. Police said, what? He said, lie. How would they rob you and bite you? I never see this one. And I told my landlord, take off your shirt. Igbo man, yellow body. If you see red marks. Police say, it's a lie. You brought chicken pox to spread for us. Get him out of here. We had to take the case to SARS. SARS say they deal in armed robbery, not ordinary theft. Say the people that robbed us, they didn't come with a knife, they didn't come with a gun, and so they were not armed. And I was so angry with the SARS official. Because if you think about it, those guys were armed to the teeth. I'm not going to lie to you, I admire armed robbers. I do. I admire them. Because it's not, do you have money? It's, where's the money? Conviction. Faith. Those are admirable attributes. You know? Just busting. No courtesy. You know, they take it by the, you know. Doesn't make any sense though. When they start to unleash violence. Because I abhor violence. I get scared easily. I don't like it when they get really violent. You know? And it doesn't make any sense to rob somebody and kill the person. Honestly. Not from a humane point of view. More from a business side of things. Like, there's no repeat business there anymore. Like, it's a very stupid thing to do. Like, when you rob somebody, you leave them alive. You know, they gather themselves. 3 months later, you can come back again. You get, he's living, you're living. You know, everyone is fine. Then you kill the person and you've reduced potential business. Doesn't make any sense. Do you know what's even more stupid? When they rob people and then they take everything, profit and capital, that is stupid. Doesn't make any sense. These guys should come for me to, you know, build business models for them. Yeah, because if you rob the man of everything, right? Now, he can't start from anywhere. He's now desperate. So he has to resort to crime too. Now you have created a competitor. Doesn't make any sense. I wish these guys would come to me and say, build a model for me. Help me understand this business. Let me make it work. You go to the police because that's where they get their guns. And then you take police guns from area X. Then you go to rob area Z. Like, why would you do that? Doesn't make any sense. If you take from area X, then you rob area X. Because the police cannot now respond because they're with their guns. Wisdom. Right? That's what makes sense. And then they have to respond late. Maybe I just figured out why police always respond late to robberies. Yeah. Build a proper business model. Like they come to me, I sit them down, do a proper presentation. You know? Draw it all up. Show them. Do like a SWOT analysis. Your strengths, your weakness, your opportunities, your threats. I thought about it. Like I tell them, a strength will be fear and terror. You have to have the reputation of Dr. Eunice, you know, Derrick Owamama, the likes of Lawrence Sanini, you know. Then if you're now, in addition to fear and terror, you're now ugly small. Ah! Proper strength. You know? Then maybe a weakness will be if the robber has girly attributes. Because that's a weakness. No one's going to take you serious. Like if you bust into my house like, boy, where's the money? See, look, this thing is gone. Oh. This thing is gone. Okay, what can you spare? I'm not going to take you serious now. That's a weakness. And then you have to look at opportunities, networking, liaising with police officers. You know, build networks. I think they already do, but more. Right? And then you have to know your threats, which is the greatest threat of all to all armed robbers. Nigerian politicians. No one steals more than them. No one steals. Even the armed robbers were robbed of their commonwealth. That's why they are robbing. Right. Do I have some accountants in the house? Make some noise if you're an accountant. Finance background, make some noise. Do a balance sheet. I'll work with you. Right? And then we tell them, these are your assets, these are your liabilities. They need to know these things. Right? On the asset leg, you know, fear, terror, ugliness. You know? But that's an intangible asset, right? So we'll book it as goodwill. On the debit leg. Right? And then, what else would be an asset that you book on the debit leg? Property, plants, and equipment. The guns. Right? You book it. That's an asset. And for PPE, right? For equipment, there should be a corresponding credit. What's the corresponding thing? Help me out. What's the corresponding thing? You don't know. Corresponding. Say, don't be scared. Don't worry. What's the corresponding thing? Accumulated depreciation. Exactly. Oh, man, you're not smart. It's Nigerian police guns. It's already fully depreciated. And then on the credit side of things, you would have only the liabilities the payouts for leasing the guns, and then the payouts to the DPO, all those people. So basically, on the credit leg, the liability section, it will just be police. So let's just structure the statement well and just say police is a liability. But when armed robbers rob, I realized that the hardest thing for an armed robber to do is to rob poor people. Apparently it's quite difficult to rob somebody that has nothing. Just can't see anything to take. I'm saying the real poor people, the ones that have nothing, the ones that the only property they have that they can claim ownership to is their problems. At least it's their own. And that's why those real poor people are never stingy. They're always looking for who to share their problems with. Yeah, I know it sounds like I'm making a mockery of poor people, but I try to make mockery of poverty, not poor people, because I try to remind myself of where I don't want to be in life. And it's important to enforce that idea. I remember the first time I had a first raw taste of what poverty can be like. And it was when I was, in Lagos. And I was looking for a gig. I was broke at the time. And then this wedding came up. And then they said I should MC this wedding. And I said, okay, what are they offering? They said 50,000. I said, man, 50,000? What the hell? And then the guy says, I said, first of all, where's the venue? And then that's when I knew I was in trouble. Because he said that the venue is in the back of Lagos. I've not heard that kind of address before. I said, what's back of Lagos? And then he told me he would pay me 50K, but that he would give me 10,000 now. And then, when they spray, he will balance me. To get to this place first was an ordeal. You take bike, take keke. Eventually, I crossed one path, and then I saw where you are selling goods, and opposite was the hall. I said, man, this is going to be a terrible arrangement. And I went in. I said, I'll do my job. I'm a professional. And then I started. And I looked around and I realized that there was calabash and all those bicycles. And I said, but I thought it's white wedding. They said they didn't have money. So it's the same decor that they use for their traditional, that they just left it, let things just go. No problem. When I knew that this would be a big, big wedding of troubles was when the chairman started complaining about the small chops. No. The fact that they call it small chops does not mean it must be this small. Look at the meat now, it's like tablet. I didn't know when I swallowed it. Okay, what's this one? He says what? Shrimp. Come on, shut up your mouth. You carry big crayfish. Put here, say na shrimp. I knew that this is going to be nonsense. And so I did the right thing. I'm going to do this thing quickly. Dance. Let them spray me money. Let everything end. Let us go. I didn't know that the same thing he told me about my balance was what he told every other vendor. So DJ's eye was in the money. The person that baked cake, the eye was there. Caterer, everybody. They started spraying 50 naira. I knew at this point in time I'm not going to get my money. What's the sensible thing to do? Eat and go. Small chops. It's the first small chops that I saw Shaki inside. But nothing was going to stop me from enjoying at least anything I could get. And then I put my hand in and I wanted to start with the Shaki. And I put my hand in, and I wanted to put it in my mouth. And then the caterer held my hand. He said, they've not paid him, I can't go any further. You can understand my anger at that point in time, Abi. I was very angry. I wanted to rake for this caterer. I looked up, I saw the caterer. I could not shout. Because the caterer was Dr. Ebo. It's funny when you make a really good joke and then you have to act like, I don't know what I just did. Well, the idea of playing devil's advocate was to highlight to you guys certain perspectives that naturally you might not think of. And I touched some, maybe touchy areas. Some people have their perspectives. But the idea of playing devil's advocate, the strength of playing devil's advocate is predicated on how weak truth is. Truth is relative. truth isn't a strong thing. And I'll explain what I'm trying to say. Now, if I talk about the menace that armed robbers are to society today, you might say armed robbers are deadly. But then when I highlighted to you how Nigerian politicians are more deadly, you now start to realize that maybe armed robbers aren't so deadly. Those things are both true because they're both deadly, but one is a greater truth. So truth is relative. If I say that Brad Pitt is a handsome man, now that's true. But when you put him alongside George Clooney, it doesn't have to seem as true. Okay? When I talk about ritualists, for example, you guys cringe, and I say they are bad. That's true. When you think about the Nigerian police and how they're a liability, you start to realize that maybe, truth is relative. And it's in that sense that truth is different from fact. Because fact is absolute. Truth is arguable. A fact is non-debatable. All right? And so, if I come to you and tell you that there are many truths, there are very few facts, take what I'm saying, because I'm a smart man. I know what I'm saying. And so if I stand in front of you all, I beat my chest, spread my legs, and in confidence tell you that I'm going to be one of the best comedians to come out of Africa. Now that's a fact.